Okay. Oh, okay. My video was frozen before. Hey, Fraser, what's going on? I can't hear you. All right, so my volume's up. All right, I hear something. I can't hear you at all.
You know?
A little bit. It's cut. It cut in and
Yeah,
out.
you can hear me? You
It's
can hear me?
okay. Yes, now I can hear you. Perfect.
Okay, it must have been the earphones. Another set of
Oh
earphones bites
man.
the dust.
All right. Here's another piece of advice for Fraser: buy headphones.
Oh, I've just, apparently this week, two stopped working. So I've got
Oh
another pair
man,
somewhere, maybe in the car, but yeah,
skull
they're going
candy. I'm
down
telling you.
quickly.
I'm telling you, skull candy. Buy them for skull candy. They work really, really well,
Oh,
and they're almost
yeah.
indestructible. If your dog doesn't kill them,
Well,
that is.
I've
If
got to
I
go
do.
with the ones that are somewhere in the stock because even $30, it's anyways. No, I just got to find the other pairs. Like the other ones that went this way, I ripped up. But this is the pair I was using with you the other night, so
I
I
know they
don't
were
know.
working
I
fine
guess
the
it's
other
fine.
night. Oh, all right. So I said, you were texting me this afternoon because I texted you last night if you wanted to do a podcast. You didn't respond to this afternoon, so I was going to see my
Oh, I
brother.
was,
That's why I was driving. Like I'm usually home. So I saw him today, and the social worker came, and he said they're going to discharge him this coming Friday. Means he's coming home this coming Friday.
oh, that's good.
I'm pretty
This coming
happy
Friday.
about that. Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
So he's going to
Wait,
get an
this
extra. It's been 8 weeks
next coming
since he
Friday.
had the
Isn't this
surgery.
Friday?
This
Oh,
coming.
he's not coming home
Not the
today.
16th, which is today. Not the 16th, which is today. The next. Add
The
7 to
30th,
16.
20th.
What do
Yeah,
you got?
I
I
got
forget. I can't do math. Anyway, you do the math. You're the man here, guys. What's next Friday's date?
it should be the 23rd,
Was
I
it?
think. Yeah, no, I got you.
All
I
right.
got you. So that's good.
Okay.
So now it's
Okay.
a countdown. Now it's, yeah.
Yeah.
Whoops, now you just jumped up.
So
Your video
it's.
went all weird.
I'm
Okay,
like,
you're back. Never mind.
okay. So it's been 8 weeks since he had the surgery. He's got 12 screws. Sorry, excuse me, and two plates in his knee, just below his knee. So
Yeah.
it's been 8 weeks. Usually people heal between 6 and 8 weeks when they have a regular fracture. So he should be, I'd say 80, 90% healed by now. And he's
Yeah.
got good movement on his knee. They just got to x-ray his leg. The doctors have to okay for him to put weight on. As soon as he can put weight on it, he's coming home.
That's crazy. Like a bone from being to being whoop,
Right?
glued back together.
Yeah, I know.
That's
It's amazing,
wacky.
right? So there's some good news.
So that big old, yeah. That's good. That's good news. Yeah.
All right, so we wanted to
Like,
talk about Yogi Berra isms, philosophy, class 101, and the one I chose tonight is if you don't know where you're going, you'll end up somewhere else. That's could be
yeah.
that can be pretty deep.
Yeah, I looked it up earlier, and what struck me, like I just started Googling it, and I'm really lazy, so I just type in the first few words, like if you don't know where,
Yeah.
and then it pulls up another one. Like the first one that came up was actually Lewis Carroll, and I suppose he said
Lewis
it
Carroll.
first, right? His thing was, if you don't know where you're going, any path will take you there, or something along those ones. I'm trying to put it up again now.
That's kind of deep too. I like that.
It's not bad, but then the Yogi Berra one is like, second or
Yeah, yeah.
third in the Google search on that same thing. You get thinking about the two side by side, especially one coming after the other.
That's
I
interesting.
like Yogi Berra's better.
Me
It's
too.
you're not
Yeah,
going to get there
me
if you
too.
don't know where you're going. Yeah,
Well,
you're
if
going
you
to
don't
take
know
a
where you're
multiple
going,
paths, but
you end up somewhere
you're
else,
going
which is
you're yeah,
interesting because as an adult, you can. I'm loosely labeling myself as an adult. I don't know how adult I feel. I don't know how adult you feel, but uh, I don't know what the hell I'm doing day to day. Every day
yeah.
it's just like I feel like I'm wandering. I don't know what the day's gonna take me, what's gonna happen. So like
Hmm.
I don't know where I'm
Yeah,
going, right?
yeah,
And I know a lot of people like this. It's not just
yeah.
it's not just me. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, and that it is that feeling. Oh, for sure. So that both of them, both of the quotes in my mind, they hit that nail. They hit that certain like
Right.
that nerve that everyone has, of just the direction. What direction is it? Now, if
Right.
I don't know which one it is, Lewis Carroll seems to say, don't worry about it. The path will work itself out.
To
Whereas,
a
the
degree, but
marriage is more like if you
but I
think
feel
about
like
it, we all want to work. Think
I
about it
feel like
first, because you may not end up where you want to be.
yeah, I feel like you have to make certain decisions in order to get onto the right path.
Yeah.
Whether you have to make the right decisions, because wrong decisions leave you on another path. Probably
Yeah.
not to your benefit either. Um, but just having this feeling of being lost all the time, and it's like everybody I know does that. It's like if you have a kid like you do, you have some structure in your life. Take the kid to school, you get sick, go to the doctor, do homework, bedtime, dinner. Well, have some kind of routine. Single guys like me don't have that. They don't have that kind of structure in our lives. I don't have a job either. So like you get up, you take care of your kid, you go to work, you come home, take care of your kid, at dinner, go back to
Mhm.
bed, same thing, except Saturday and Sunday when you have off usually. So, like every day for me is like Saturday and Sunday. I had nothing to do all day long. It's not the greatest life in the world. So you end up feeling a little more lost because there's no direction
Mhm.
and there's no way to really earn money. Then you feel a little more lost too. So it's like that direction. I don't know where it's going to take me.
Yeah. I gotta say though, on the other side, like I definitely hear what you're saying. Like when before I had a kid, it was a different sort of motivation for sure. I was
Yeah.
still going to, yeah, still keep doing things, but different things, obviously.
Not the
Different
same.
level of productivity too. But now, whereas I am just busy as nuts, and
Yeah,
it's just all the time. And so you talk about direction there in that sense, absolutely. And for me, whenever I didn't have like the job to do, like at least have some job to do, even like back on the farm, you just make
I
up
got
stuff,
something
right?
to
Like
yeah, right.
it's
Yeah.
tough. It's like self-motivated. It's like you go there, make a project almost. But I see what you're saying. When you don't have that and you're just in your head, it's
Yeah,
like
right. Yeah.
then you really don't know where am I going? And no one's, and especially now, like someone's paying me to do the thing I want to do. So it's like, okay, that's,
Yeah, that's
it's
true. Yeah.
it makes it there. But if they weren't paying me for it, again, what would be my direction? I'd hoped it would be
Exactly.
the same thing, but obviously the distraction of not having that ching ching is gonna be a thing. But
Now
oh,
I
sorry,
just
what I was
want
getting at is just having too
to.
many distractions. It's like, wait, where am I? Like I said to you earlier, I'm like, I'm going out of my mind. Like I'm driving like 15 hours a week to work 40 hours a week, plus,
Wow.
custody of the
Yeah.
little one. And it was just like, holy crazy, you talking about
And
routine. It was like, I don't have the proper routine. Like I have once every other Tuesday, I have to be back here to pick him up. And then Thursday, I pick him up every Thursday. And then Monday, I drop him off at school. So I've got him all this like, so a lot of weekends. But then this morning, we're an hour
right.
late.
So
Like he
like
woke me up, it
exactly
was
what I
like
wanted to say.
8:15. It's like 8:15. Oh, that's when school starts.
Yeah.
So we
Right.
got there at
That's what
9:15.
I wanted to say. Like your
So
kid.
I've
I mean,
got
with the
so
greatest thing
many
in the
things to do that I don't
I
have a
know.
direction.
Like the
The
greatest thing in the
opposite problem,
world is to
almost.
bring up a child in this world and do it properly. So like a child gives you some type of direction where normally, if you're not married, no kid, you wouldn't have that type of direction. So you know where you're going somewhat.
Mm,
90% maybe.
yeah.
You're right.
Oh yeah, yeah. Those days that I don't want to get up, he gets me up. It's
He gets
like,
you up,
oh
yeah,
yeah,
when you
that's why I
have
get
to.
up.
Yeah, right, exactly. You
That's
do
it.
it,
And that's why I say
and
for you too. That's why I see it so much as a great thing for you too, is just that is it. Like that's what
I would give
it's
everything to
just
have
like
it.
a built-in kind of reason to be kind of thing.
Right,
So
right,
to strive for that you have that in your, oh, who is saying it that? I don't know if you listened to that podcast that I put up about Joel Osteen. Did you
no, I
listen to
didn't.
that one?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you should listen to it. Oh, it hits hard. It hits hard. It's
Oh,
like
look,
kind of
make it
like,
talk.
mm, I would have put it on
Tag me in it.
Team Page, I think. It's a
Tag me.
YouTube, but it's just audio. And it's
Okay.
really powerful, I thought. And it just hit home for me, and I thought, ooh, and he's
I
oh, I
don't
don't,
really
he's
like him.
Protestant. I can't remember what.
I don't really like him. He doesn't use a lot of biblical phrasing. He just a lot of happy things that he says. He's not the
But it
greatest.
is, and that's what worked for me about that. So it's not doing like hard scripture. It's just sort of a motivational, like, come on, guys, you got
Exactly.
no, not
As
that you got
as
no
far as yeah.
excuse, but just go out there and get it, and God will. If you have oh, that was the thing. If you have a dream and you try and reason your way out of it, it's like, no, I can't do that, or oh, I can't. And it was really that was his theme. It's just like that's not true. It looks tough. It looks impossible. All the facts are against it, but you got to do it. And with that sort of, we'll call it the push from behind,
Yeah, that
the guide,
motivation. Yeah,
your companion,
right.
then he'll make it possible in that way. So he was just that kind of, like you say, wishy-washy stuff, but just sort of motivational speaking, really.
Yeah, he's
You're
like
not
a.
going in there for deep scripture. I know
I
that. I
think
understand what you're saying.
I think he's like a lukewarm Christian that of motivational speaking. Like Billy Graham was like hardcore. You know, it's like
That's it. Yeah.
it's the just juxtapositions. That's the right word. I don't
It
know.
is. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a
One's a preacher and one's more a motivational speaker
motivational
with a
speak.
cross on his
Exactly
head.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So right.
That's
It's
it.
a,
Yeah.
but they do push you in the right direction. But like one uses little
Hmm.
more was colloquialisms where one uses scripture. So it's
That's
like
it.
it's that
Well, it's just
push.
like Yogi Berra almost, like he's trying to boil it
Almost.
down instead of the one I was looking at was like, oh, I'd have to go back. I think it's on the team page. Oh, I can't even chicken on this other device. Doesn't matter. But it's just that kind of boiling it down. I thought, like, again, making it at least digestible for, like you don't want Yogi Berra is, or no, yeah, anyways, trying to get something more message towards Christians, say, you know what I
Well, I
mean?
wanted to ask you. I don't know how public you want to be with this, but you told me something about your job today. Do you want to expand on that, or do you want to get into it, or do you want to leave that private?
Oh no, just that it was just basically that. Like I was driving a lot to get to this job and realizing that I should probably not be doing that. That's taken up a lot of my time that I should be putting on to, just more important projects. Like I say, if it's 15 hours a week on top of a
On
job,
top of 20,
well,
65
now I've got
hours
a
a week.
55-hour a week
55
job,
hours a
right?
week, and
So
you're not getting paid for 15 of those hours.
that's it. That's my choice, I guess, to live further away from my job. Whereas I think I could find something closer to home. And so the fact that, that job is further away, and now I'm just thinking, no, I've got to really, 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 really work
You know
hard
what?
on getting something closer to home. So it was just today was kind of a breaking point where it's like, that's it, that's it, that's it. Like I said, meeting up with you the last couple nights, it was like 9 o'clock. I'm like, yeah, I should meet up with Frank Laser, and I was like,
No, I can
coming tomorrow,
imagine.
like,
You know, my brother,
hi Frank. I was like,
Fraser, my
sorry, boss.
brother.
And then this morning was just nuts. I was just like, and I was woke up way late. I was like, what's going on now? I just slept for like way
Yeah,
longer than
you
usual.
know what
So.
it is? My brother used to deliver for pizza place and for car parts when he was in between
Mhm,
jobs, just to make a few extra bucks. And he was driving
mhm.
8, 9 hours a day delivering car parts. He said that is more
Yeah,
tiring than actually staying at a job working, just driving all
yeah,
day long. So I can imagine 15
yeah.
hours a week driving plus working, you would have to be exhausted. That's like what, 10 hours a
Well,
day?
it's not city driving. I gotta say that. It's like, there's a lot of highway driving. It's driving between cities, but it's a lot of driving. And I meet people. Actually, it was actually a very interesting experience in just that because it's going between cities. There's certain car sharing thing going on. So you
Yeah,
just
you told
sign
me
up
about
and
that
say I'm
stuff. Yeah,
going. People sign up and then tick 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 and it fills up. So that's essentially
right.
made like car payments and gas payments. And it also like provides entertainment. I love to talk. I don't know if you've
Yeah,
noticed
I
that.
know. You'd be the worst Uber driver ever. Someone doesn't want to talk.
I did Uber for like only a couple weekends.
Oh,
I
you
signed
did?
up and I'm still like a member, but I just never did it after that. Totally, man. But Uber's not enough. You only get like 5 or 10 minutes. That's not
Yeah.
enough. That's not enough talking. 2 hour drive now.
Right? Yeah.
No, but
Did you?
if people don't want to talk, they don't want to talk. But you'll see that if you open up and just say, "Hey, how's it going?" A lot of people want to tell you their story. I
In
added it up, so
America,
we're at about
go ahead.
160,000 kilometers on my car and 1,800 passengers or something like that over the 2 years, which
Wow.
is maybe I tried to count them up, and maybe we're talking about 1,400 individual people, 12 or
Fraser
1,400, because
Parker.
I get some doubles, some repeats, and these kind of things.
Yeah. Fraser,
That's like, say, 1,200 new people that I got to meet.
that's a
So it was
lot of
actually,
people.
what is
Yeah.
that? About 160,000 kilometers.
It's a lot of
Oh, not bad.
mileage. Mileage.
It's
Kilometers.
100 miles,
Kilometers?
it's 100,000
My,
miles, yeah.
yeah. A kilometerage. We call it mileage in
A lot of
America.
kilometerage.
Kilometerage. Oh,
True,
yeah,
we
I
still
was.
say mileage.
You was expressed to me
Kilometer.
that you were either going to find a job closer to home or move to where your job is. Which one are
Mhm.
you deciding on now?
Oh, no, 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 I won't move back there. We lived over there for a while, And it just wasn't for us. No, no, no. And that's why the job is still there because we moved back here. It just no, no, no. That it had to be over here in Montreal. So no, no, no. My choice, and so it was kind of 2 years in transition. I kept saying, I'm in employment transition. It's like a good job, I don't want to leave it for leaving the conditions real quick. But now, and with the help of other friends, kind of saying, I'm more employable than I thought I would be. Like, I don't know, maybe I'll lose a little bit of confidence and sort of like, can I really do it? I don't know if I should jump, like I got a nice soft cushion here. Why would I jump off the cushion, So the cushion is like further away from
Yeah,
where I
yeah.
live. That's okay. It's fine. But at the same time for quality of life and winter miles, it was dumb to do a whole winter, 2 winters now like that. So
It's especially
no,
in Canada, you have a lot of ice driving too. It's not safe.
I know. I was out there, "Ugh, you idiot!
Yeah,
What did you want?"
I
These
can't, I
truckers,
can't imagine.
truckers that are kind of glowing in sleep. I don't got anywhere to go but the snowbank, buddy. And he's like wandering over into my lane. I'm
Snowbank,
like, I'm done.
Snowbank
I'm
might be
done.
safer
Unless
than
that
his
guy
truck.
wakes up right now, I'm done.
Snowbank might be safer
And
than
then my
his
key
truck.
thing.
The what? Oh yeah, the key
He
thing,
told me to
right?
hit.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
told you
right,
about the
right.
key thing. So I pulled
Yes, you
someone
did.
else out of the freaking flipped car. So he was just
I
like,
know.
when am I going to be the person in the flipped car, right?
I have a
Ugh.
question. In
Hmm.
America, especially New York especially, you need a TLC license in order to drive for car service. Which TLC stands for Taxi and Limousine Commission. They charge you,
Yeah.
obviously. So do you need a special license to drive for car service in Canada too?
Yeah. I've got a taxi license. Oh,
Taxi license.
I'll show it. No, I won't.
Oh.
So not a taxi
Yeah.
license, not a taxi permit. No, I have a taxi license, but not the taxi permit. That's the costly one. So I can't drive a taxi, but had to take extra
You have like a,
tests, an extra eye
oh yeah,
exam or
yeah,
something
yeah.
like this, an extra theory test. There wasn't an extra
Well,
road test, but I had to go through a
it's a
few extra tests, and now I've got an extra little number on my driver's license.
it's a 6 hour test here, plus the cost of the
Mhm.
license and a drug test. The cost is like $200, I think, and they give you a TLC license and you're on your way. They don't care. You pay the money
Oh,
and you're
that's funny. So it's a TLC license, but
yes,
because of the
yes,
drug test, it's like no THC to get your TLC.
yeah. No THC for TLC, right?
No THC if you want
It might be,
TLC.
yeah. There might be. Is that the exception in Canada? You can test positive for marijuana and still be able to drive.
Oh no, no, no. They're really working hard on trying to get a test that would be something like the roadside test that you could do so that it would be something.
Right.
They've got one, it's not super accurate yet, but it's working on it. I think it's like a saliva test, if I
I
understand it
would think so.
correctly.
You'd have to use body fluids. They use usually urine, but I think saliva might work. I don't know.
Saliva might work. So then the cop comes up and they're like, "Have you been smoking?"
Spit
And
in
you
the
go,
cup. Yeah. Oh
"You
God!
want to check
Oh,
it? I'll
how
I'll prove
disgusting!
it."
I can't. I can't
Don't
deal
do
with
that.
body fluids.
Do never do that. Don't do that
No,
in Canada, Frank. That's not a
no,
good
no, no,
idea.
no. I don't plan on coming to Canada anytime soon. So,
That's it. That's it.
all
No,
right,
but that's it.
all right. So I want to
Yeah,
take
no,
this
that's
now.
what
I want to take this now into a slightly different direction and talk
I.
about God with this quote. Now, if you don't know where you're going, you'll end up somewhere else. Like if you don't follow
Hmm.
God, you're not a goodly person. Don't follow the golden rule. We'll put that in there again. You might end up where you
Hmm.
don't want to be. So there's a.
I like that. I thought you were going to finish that with "you'll end up in dog shit" or "you'll end up in shit." If you don't
I
follow the
guess you
golden
end up
rule,
in
you'll end up in
shit.
shit.
Yeah, you could end up.
No. Anyways,
You could
no,
end up.
I see where
Yeah,
you're going. If you
we'll
don't know
call
where
that
you,
shit.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So you're not
yeah,
a godly
exactly.
person. You can end up. Yeah, you can. You don't know where you're gonna end up.
Yeah, no, it is true. I would even go further. Like if you don't start thinking about it, like if you have the time, like
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
was passing a lot of time, which is not, I've got the luxury, even if I have these
The
job and
luxury.
things, and still like we're in the kind of the luxurious side of the world, as it were. I should
Yeah.
spend time thinking about those. If I don't
Well,
spend time thinking about, this sort of bigger picture, as it were, then I might, like you say, may end up in the wrong place, as it were.
you should. All you gotta do is spend some time in prayer. You don't need to do a lot. Just a little prayer to God, and that's it.
Yeah.
I've been thinking a lot about my mortality too, and the bed next door to my brother. There's a 90-year-old man. Um, over the course of the 2 months, a month and a half I've been seeing him there, I saw this guy go from like a pretty strong, able-bodied man to a man who basically has dementia, and now he's dying. I can't say anything different. He's dying. He lost control of his bowels 6 times today. He's wearing a diaper. He is not coherent, and when he does, he just calls for the nurse saying, "I want to live. I want to live." Yeah, it's not easy watching somebody go through the last throes of death. I saw it with my parents. I saw it with a couple of people. If you don't die instantly, death is very long and drawn out, especially if you have some kind of
Mhm.
long-term illness. He has a heart condition, pneumonia. Um,
Uh,
so watching your body slowly fail like that, especially if your mind is still alert or something like that, you were aware that your body is failing. That's like torture to me.
mhm.
So
Well,
and I pray for this man to have a quick, peaceful death, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think he's a little bit of suffering right now. He's got to be dehydrated because he's not eating, he's not drinking, and he's constantly moving his bowels.
oh yeah, just like oh
Like I saw the
yeah.
guy,
No,
I saw that with my
I
father
didn't have
too.
the
Right, I saw that my father too. He was 230 something pounds at his healthiest. He went down to about 120 pounds when he died. So I saw his body slowly deteriorate. It's not easy watching that because this is a man who walked 3 or 4 miles a day when close to the end he couldn't move at all. He was basically
yeah.
not well. He was in a medically induced coma because he had heart and kidney condition. He got very sick. It's a whole story, but it's terrible to watch
He's going
somebody
away.
deteriorate like that.
Oh yeah. And I'd say it even not that it's worse, but it's more remarkable when you have like a big person and then you
Yeah.
see them like I've seen some people and just healthy transformations even, but where it's like unrecognizable. As soon as you
Right.
lose some cheeks or something, it's just
Yeah.
like
Right. You get very gaunt. Yeah.
or it looks like the ghost version of it, like the
Yeah.
just the
Right. Right.
skeleton
Right.
version of it. When it's just
Right.
someone, and like you say, if we go from 230 to 120, like all of a sudden all you're seeing is, well, like
Right.
me,
And you think I don't know if you ever noticed.
like I'm already there. If I lose, I'm not gonna. I'm already right down to the skeleton. So,
I
but no, I understand.
don't know if you
Sorry,
noticed that.
it's terrible to go through,
No, no, that's right. Yeah, it is. And
but if you
you
lose
see, their
all that weight
skin
in a few
becomes.
months,
Yeah, this no, it was actually over the course of like a year and a half, but the skin becomes like paper
mhm,
thin. You can see almost like right through it. It's hard to watch. And I watched my father
mhm,
go through hell before he passed away. My mother passed away rather
mhm,
quickly. Heart attack, bam, she's gone. That's that's um a merciful death, to tell you the truth. Watching someone with this sickness, my
yeah, I
friend
think so.
from high school, he died of cancer. He was diagnosed at 33. They had him in remission at age 35 up until, and he had to take constant chemotherapy all these years from 35 till his passing. So I think he died at 44. So from 35 to 44, he was on a lot of medication, made him gain weight. He lost feelings in his hand. When the
Mm.
cancer came back, he got sick, and his family had to watch him deteriorate too. And a 44-year-old man, someone who's supposed to be strong in a time of their life, dying of cancer.
Mhm.
And
That
so
was last year, eh? You said that
that
was
was
last
last
year,
year.
the
Yeah,
guy.
that was last year. I
Yeah.
think I have the card here. Oh, okay, here
But
it
he
is.
was from 35 to 44, though. He was kind of going through this.
That's him. That's my friend from high
Oh,
school,
there he is. Rocco.
Rocco
It's all
Canada.
backwards, like it's Rocco. Yeah.
It's backwards on a turn like this. No kidding. Rocco Canada. Let me see.
The
He
memory
was
block
born
there.
October
Yeah.
3rd, 1971, died June 14, 2016. So it's going to be 2 years this year.
Hmm.
You feel bad too. You see some kind of survivor's guilt. Why didn't I get sick? They say obese people get cancer. Why haven't I gotten it? God forbid, but uh,
Mhm.
I don't know. There's no rhyme or reason.
No, that's it. Like there's these things we can do. Let's say it's statistics, right? They say even
Yeah,
smoking. Smoking doesn't kill you. Smoking just increases your chance of certain things. But
Right.
someone who has a propensity to lung cancer
Right.
gets like a few puffs in their whole life, and boom, they get full-on lung cancer. And someone who just doesn't, one gets me is George Burns. You remember that guy?
Yes, of course.
And he's smoking cigar at like 95. He says, "Yeah, my
And
doctor
he
told me I
wasn't.
should quit drinking and smoking cigars. I
Yeah.
went to his
Right. Right.
funeral 20 years ago." This kind of thing.
Yeah. Right. Right.
It's like, so that's.
Yeah.
Well,
He's a definitely.
that wasn't how he put it. He would put it a lot better than I put it, but and he
Oh
would do it
yeah.
in the proper
Well, yeah. I
accent.
get
I
the
don't.
gist. Yeah. I get the gist.
And
And
so it's just
speaking of
like
that,
some people have the higher thing, but they say, like you say, it's about odds,
speaking of,
statistics, damn statisticians.
my aunt and her first husband, both smoking all their lives. My aunt's still healthy, got very healthy lungs. She's 79 years old. Her ex-husband died. Not he didn't die of a lung cancer, but he had emphysema. Smoking the exact same amount of time, exact same type of cigarettes. He gets
Yeah,
emphysema. She's still healthy. He had the
yeah.
propensity for it.
That's exactly, and that's a good one. Those are when you need the experiments. You need them. The statisticians, the scientists, they love twins.
Yeah.
Oh, twins are like,
Oh yeah, I would
oh, they
imagine.
do. But you can't like tell one to smoke and tell one not to smoke. You got to find them later on, like, "Oh, you
Yeah,
smoked
right.
your whole life and you didn't? We want to
Yeah,
test
right.
you."
Yeah, right, right.
But a couple like you're saying, what you're talking about, exactly the same brand of cigarettes. They light up at the same time
Yeah,
at
right.
breakfast every morning, and then one just boom, boom, and it just shows that it's really what does it
What's
call it?
funny?
Nature and nurture.
Nature
Like
nurture.
it's one
Oh,
and the
yeah,
other. It's both.
yeah,
Right?
right.
One has an
My
effect, but the
brother,
other one has
my
an
brother's
effect.
a smoker. My father was a smoker. My father used to smoke Camels,
Mhm.
3 packs a day. My brother just smoked some Marlboro. My father got so sick, he had asthmatic bronchitis twice in 2 years. That's when he quit. He was 36 years old when my father quit. My brother's still smoking.
Mhm.
He quit now. He had no choice, but he was smoking right up until a couple months ago. No
Mhm. In
problems.
the hospital, right?
And this is,
Oh, that was.
and he shares half his DNA with my father. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that'll be something when he gets home, eh? Oh,
yeah, I'm
because he'll
gonna
be
force him to
like,
quit. He wants to smoke, but I'm not gonna.
because he's already quit. He's already got over that hump, right? And so that that's the hard part, right? The first the week or whatever. Hmm.
Yeah, the first 2 weeks is the hardest, from what I
But if
heard.
you're at home all
So,
bored and stuff, that'll be a trigger, maybe. I don't
right,
know.
right. So yeah.
Anyways,
So yeah. So wait, weeks
yeah,
like all right. So getting back to that, I know I have my little path with God. I know what I want to do, what I need to do, and I'm trying to do that. So hopefully I end up where I need to be. Uh,
hmm
but in life, as far as career, marriage, relationships, I'm kind of lost with that. So I don't know where the hell I'm going. So I don't know. I'm walking a path, see where it takes me.
hmm But you have a dream, like the family dream. There's like some sort of spark of a dream there. It's not like a full sussed out plan yet, but there's kind of
No,
sounded like
no,
there was sort of like
not yet. Not yet. I don't.
hmm
Sean
Anyway,
said I should try online dating. I don't know. I'm juggling the idea of it right now.
yeah, maybe I shouldn't turn my thing up at it, but I think he mentioned one site, and I was like, no, not that one.
Okay,
I
Cupid.
tried
He said
one.
okay.
I tried online dating for about like 5 minutes. I was like, what? That's no, not what I wanted. I want and there's got to be a way of just kind of striking up a conversation. Maybe it works. I don't know. Maybe I was doing it wrong, or I was
I don't
swiping
get out
left
too
when I should
much,
have
so
been
I have
swiping
to.
right. I don't know.
Oh, you were on Tinder?
One of these
You were
things,
on
but no, Cupid or
Tinder?
something.
Okay, Cupid.
I
Well,
tried.
that
I
was the
tried
one.
a few of them, and they all seemed
I
like the
tried.
same
Okay,
thing.
I tried OK Cupid. I tried Match. I tried one website where I matched with a stripper, and she said she didn't want to go out with me. A freaking stripper! A stripper! How How much of a loser do you have to be turned down by a stripper? She does it for singles. Give me a break.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, if I
I like
had
to
$10,
fill the
she'd be
distance. It's
okay.
the
No.
for a dinner or something.
Oh, my goodness.
No, and it just there's got to be a better way. There's got to be ways. I remember there was one. It was dating site just for farmers only. I can't remember what it was called.
Oh, they have one for Star
It
Trek.
had some funny name like But you had to prove that you had like a rural address to go into it because it was basically, finding love on a farm and anyways.
I
But
found two
it
of
was
them.
it was that kind of thing. Like the big pool. There was also one plenty of fish people talked about, but I was
Plenty of
thinking
Fish.
more
That's
along the
another
lines of
one.
one
Yeah,
of
I was in
those
that.
not
Yeah.
match, but like harmony or something.
eHarmony. Yeah.
One where
Well,
you put in like
yeah,
your different attributes, like a
I
bigger
got two
thing of
things.
attributes, and then it's more like
Yeah.
you get to see more up
You
front kind
get
of
better
thing.
matches. Yeah, yeah.
You know.
I found, well, I was on here. Oh, God, I got a couple stories, but I found two dating sites. One was Trump lovers, and one was Star Trek. They're probably mutually exclusive because not every Trump lover will be a Star Trek fan, but you got that. And I was on Match. I actually paid for a membership for a couple of months, and all I
Mhm.
got were Nigerian scammers. I want to meet. You send me some money. I'm stuck in Nigeria. I'll meet you at the airport. I'll pay you when I see you. Yeah, okay.
Wow. Yeah, that's what yeah. I don't know. There's got to be a way to do this, but I don't know how to do it. I think there would be things like even through, Catholic organizations just to get
There's
at
Catholic
least start
Match.
on a certain
Yeah,
Catholic
there's
matches
Catholic
kind of
Match.
thing.
Yeah, yeah, you got that too. I mean, you could
Just
probably
yeah.
find a website or dating site for any kind of fetish you have. I would think there was something for
Yeah.
everybody. I mean,
That's it.
those
There's got to
things
be
that I've
one where
heard.
it's just all about they're just all strippers, and like you say, there'll be one stripper that'll want to be all of them.
Yeah, 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 right.
I bet you
I
there
forgot
is
which
that
one I
though,
was
but
on.
it's just don't go there.
They're probably stripper meat,
Yeah. Oh
There's
man.
every.
No, but jeepers.
I'm gonna. If
Yeah,
I
no,
go
I
on one
found
stripper
anyway, I
website,
don't know. I didn't like
if
the
I want to
feel
meet a
of the
stripper,
thing, yeah.
Fraser, I'm gonna get like a couple $100 worth of singles and put a pole up in my apartment.
There you go. That's it. Exactly. And you put that like that'll be oh. Just your paycheck. Whatever you're getting paid, just
Right,
ask them to give you in
the
singles.
singles.
Just that's it.
Yeah,
All
right.
right, I'm going home. Need a stack of singles. That's
Actually,
it.
I was at the supermarket one day. I saw a woman, pretty good looking. She had a child with her, 2 or 3 years old. She bought like $50, $60 worth of groceries, paid everything in singles.
In
I'm
singles,
like,
yeah.
okay, you know, what?
I worked one of the in Calgary when I was a student there. It was the graveyard shift at a 7-Eleven. And we were about, I don't know, a kilometer or so from downtown, but going towards the west side, which is a little bit, anyways, whatevs. But a 24-hour place, like one of the only 24-hour. There was not that many in Calgary, right? So you get kind of the regulars, and yeah, like some very pretty girls coming in. And in Canada, oh, it's terrible. The strippers in Canada, it's like not that the strippers are terrible; they're just the same beautiful strippers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But the games, there's kind of games that you play for them to get your money where you get like little stick-ons or little posters or something, and then you have to win it. How do you win it? Basically, they would kind of stick it on there somewhere, and you got to knock it off because we have little like $1 coins,
You have toonies, yeah, yeah, toonies. Yeah, I know all about them.
$1 or
Yeah.
$2, and you throw it to knock it off, and they'll like stick it on their butt or something, and you throw it to knock it off. So you're throwing like change at them. Not just $1 bills in their G-string. You're throwing like
Oh my
shrapnel
God,
at them.
that's gonna hurt.
Right? Like some drunk guy's a little bit too aggressive.
Yeah,
Anyways,
right. You get
so
hurt. Yeah.
what do we get at the closing time? We get people coming in and paying with just handfuls of loonies.
Oh, loonies. Okay.
Now
Yeah.
imagine that. You're at the teller
Yeah.
of that thing and you're getting these
Oh.
like these handfuls of I'm just
Oh.
joking, but they're like, they're lubricated loonies, right?
Oh, it's terrible.
I'm serious. We would
Oh
laugh
my
at this. And it's
God.
like,
I
be
wouldn't
like,
touch those.
can
Oh
you
my
imagine how gross
God.
that is?
Yes, it's
Like
disgusting.
these have bounced off someone's naked body, and then that naked person, and it's so. I've seen some places where the ladies have to pick up their own money. Just so degrading. It's just terrible.
I
But
know. I would.
all this process, and then they obviously they pay for their stuff, right?
Yes. In my 20s, I went
Oh, it
to a
was.
couple of.
Oh,
In my 20s, I went to a couple of strip clubs. I'm never ever gonna do that
yeah.
again. I don't think it's right. I think it's very degrading for the woman.
Oh, it feels wrong.
And
Oh,
It does.
They
It's
never
and
look happy. They never look happy to me. I
no,
don't know.
and the men there look disgusting. I mean, they're sitting there concentrating, getting drunk, looking at the girl. It's disgusting. I would never do it again.
Yeah, no, it's not a, well, to each their own. But anyways, I should say no one looks like they're having fun. I don't know.
They're doing it for
That's my
money. I mean,
opinion.
I know they probably make a couple $100 a night, isn't it? But
That's
how
it.
what?
That's it. Yeah.
Well, again, the Bible said, well, Jesus said, what is it to gain the world but to lose your soul? So you're gaining all
Yeah.
this money, but what are you losing in return, right?
I think what you get in return is just a view of humanity that, like, if
Like the
you
work
like you
view,
say,
though.
when you look around, when you're looking at everyone looking at her, imagine everyone looking at you that way.
Yeah,
Would be like,
exactly. Yeah. Like you're a
holy
piece of
Christ,
meat.
humanity
Like you're not,
sucks, man.
but it's not like you're looking at her as a human being. You're looking at her as a piece of meat.
No,
I mean,
that's it.
and
And-
you're objectifying someone. I don't, you know,
Yeah, that's the epitome
in
of
my
it.
20s,
Epitome
right?
of
In my
it.
20s, I would say, okay, let's do it. It's a bunch of fun. You drink, you'll have a few laughs. But now as more of a practicing Christian now, um,
Mhm.
getting closer to God, seeing how people being treated like that, I can't support it. And a lot of these
I think
women
it
have
comes
to.
down.
I'm sorry, I'll let you answer this. I think a lot of these women have to drink and even do drugs in order to get any kind of well, to perform. They have to get over that anxiety and depression because they have to be like outside of their body. I think I talked about this with Sean. We talked about that about pornography with Sean on that podcast. When
Oh, a little, yeah. We did
they have to do drugs
last
and
week, yeah.
alcohol in order to like become outside of themselves in order to perform. It's got to be the same thing with strippers too, and I think it's probably even more so because they're not filming. This is all live in front of people, and they have a real chance of being raped.
Oh
So,
gosh, yeah. Like you get someone who thinks, oh, that's my next one. Yeah, I guess. Well, my point was about the like how doing it as an action, just going to a strippers. It's that sort of dog, the golden rule thing, right?
yeah, right,
If you kind of feel like,
right.
again, you're all in supporting a system that may be doing harm in one way or another, right up to the points that
Exactly.
you're talking about, introducing them, even if it's just introducing to the world of, drugs where everything and you're living in a liquor palace too. So that's your workspace, right? So to fall into those things, super easy. To be demoralized by the fact that you're being objectified and then to see yourself maybe as an object yourself, I can see how psychologically, ooh, that would really
Oh, that
mess
would
with someone.
destroy
So
you. Yeah,
yeah, to support it by going, it's almost like I'm being a bit of piece of dog shit just for going there, right? I'm actually knowingly doing harm to someone, right? So
exactly. Right.
that's,
So,
yeah, I agree
right.
with you.
I mean, you might. This woman might be collecting money for rent, food. She might be homeless, whatever, but she's doing it the wrong way, and the long-term effects on her, mental health, especially mental, maybe not physically, if she's not doing drugs or alcohol to get on stage, but the mental health too. I'm sure feeling like a piece of meat, being grabbed, molested, basically, and then if you're doing drugs too, you're doing physical harm to your body. So I could not support that. And
Yeah.
going there, supporting them, it's not something I could support anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you get into, yeah. No, I'm with you on that. Like that but I think that it's in terms of the person that's in there, the person that's doing it.
You have to be very
Yeah, like
strong-willed and
I guess
minded in order to
I'm
do something like
creating
that too.
if I look at it, it's like me creating a space where someone could get hurt. If someone goes in there
Yeah, right.
just like pure exhibitionist, right?
But
That
what?
that exists, I'm sure. People that just love being naked, love people just looking at them naked selves, right? So that they could do that, and that could be a legitimate profession, and they just put their blinders on, and people yell, and then they walk out back, and they've got a little security guard. So it could be. I'm just saying it could be done by someone who just wants to do it. That's just what they want to do it, and it doesn't get into drugs. So beyond the fact that, like you say, that's a definite avenue in, and people that
Yeah,
are sort of on the downsides, like I couldn't get a job, but I can take my clothes off.
right.
That's sort of a fallback job perhaps for a lot of things.
Yeah,
But that it goes into,
and
yeah,
I've
go
read
ahead,
on the
Dave.
internet how many college students actually do that in order to pay for school. So, going
I
to
wish I
school,
would have
learning
thought
to be
about it
stripping.
at the time. I was like an idiot working at a freaking 7-Eleven. I didn't know I could take my clothes off for money. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I agree. And it's just that at that desperation, like, oh, I want a little bit extra cash. I could be rich without doing it. It's so tempting. It's that sort of you want cash? All you have to do is take
It's
your clothes
easy.
off.
Oh,
It's
it's
so
really
easy. You
easy
never get
money.
it.
I mean, people throw money. I've seen people
Mhm.
throw hundreds at some of these girls too. Uh, but
Yeah.
exactly. What are you losing? I tried stripping once, but they wouldn't warm up the quarters of my G-string. I'm a
That's
goofball,
it.
Fraser. What do you mean in real life?
No, that's it. That's it. No, but you got a point though. It is no, but no. I think there's a. I definitely think like I definitely wouldn't. I don't have a daughter, but that would definitely be something I would
Oh yeah, yeah.
uh,
That's something I
just
could
worry about.
never,
Anyways.
never. If I had a daughter, I could never let that happen. I would do everything in my power to keep her out of that. And the people that you meet
Yeah.
in these things aren't exactly the best people in the world. They aren't the
And I think
base.
that's the big part of it. That was another part that actually made me think of it again. But earlier, I was living out in this place. I don't care. It was in Gatineau. It was in the Elmer end of Gatineau. Doesn't matter. It's on the Quebec side of the river, right in front
Yeah.
of Ottawa, basically. So right across the river from Ottawa. And there was a couple of strip clubs there, and they were that like they didn't look that well kept up, right? And didn't look that
Yeah.
well, not
Clean.
even that well frequented, as it were. So that there was one that kind of like it's on the main street as I'm going by, I see it, and it's this old building, a nice old looking building, but it was a strippers club. What was it called? The 67 Club or something like this. And but there was hardly ever any cars there, and you had to think like, how did this business work? Well, one day there was this car chase from Ottawa all the way into Gatineau, right to Elmer. And it was really dumb. They right into like this is one of those times when like the Ontario police chase people into Quebec and whatnot. Anyways, whatever. It makes the news for sure. Boom! They smash
Okay.
into the wall. Like there's this kind of brick wall along the road
Yeah.
right in front of the strippers. Go smash into there. Apparently, this was like one of the biker gang was running this place. It was a front, and this was kind of getting away from something. But they smashed right into the wall in front of their kind of hideout, as it were. So then that strippers closed down and it got like rebuilt. But as the story goes from one of these passengers that I met, it was a secondhand story about someone she was riding with who was a
Hmm.
transporter for certain strip clubs or for a certain biker gang, I imagine, where there's sort of a range. So you start off, I guess, in the good club downtown where it's making money. And as you move on in your career, you get transferred until like, and what I was told was that ones out in Elmer, it's kind of like you get further and further out, the further and further on in your career you go. You
Okay.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
talk about being a piece of meat, they're like
Yeah. Yeah.
moved around according to their worth. Like they're not allowed to work in the good place anymore because maybe things are coming down a
Oh
little bit or whatever.
man. Oh God. That's got
So
to be
it's
so
like
bad for your self-esteem.
it was insane how the actual industry works at a certain level. And maybe there are legitimate ones, but I guess the bikers, they run like these,
It's the same with the.
these series or sequence or this, I don't know, these strip clubs, a series
Yeah.
of them, and move the women around like that.
It's the same
And
with
one
the
of these
porn
passengers was
industry.
telling me that the other driver, that's what he did. So she got in this car with two other strippers that were going from A to B to be transferred. Like,
Oh
are you
wow.
kidding me?
It's the same in the
Nuts
porn
over this.
industry too. In the porn industry, you only last a couple of years before you're not needed anymore. And so, yeah. So yeah. So what direction are you going? I mean, you have this one direction. You want to do porn. You want to do stripping. But what happens after a couple of years when maybe your body breaks down, your mind breaks down, you can't do anymore? Where are you gonna go? You're lost again.
Yeah, you got to have a big backup plan. Like,
Yeah.
and you say the stripper thing in university. I've actually heard some stories, not firsthand stories, maybe it was on TV somewhere,
Oh,
about, some lawyers or something like this. And they got through university like that. They just really did it
yeah.
sort of,
Right.
maybe not stripping, maybe it was just taking photos or something like this. But, they were beautiful people, so
It's
they did that,
right. So yeah.
got their
Right.
money, and got their degree.
There's money in nude modeling anywhere. There's money in nude modeling. But yeah, again,
But
you're
then
making yourself,
but
but
even
you
that one comes with the price. I remember there was a
exactly.
school
Don't make
teacher or
yourself too
something like
cheap.
that, and she got fired when they found her
Yeah,
photos.
right. Well, especially if you work for a Christian or Catholic school, you sign a morality
Oh,
clause where you can't.
oh, it's in a morality clause.
Yeah, right. So I don't know if you heard of. There was a news reporter, Merv something or other. Can't remember. Anyway, um, in the morality clause, like you can't have a past of being a stripper. You couldn't have done porn. You can't. Well, in a Christian or Catholic school, you can't be practicing homosexual. You can't get married as a homosexual. There's certain things you can't do. So you get caught doing this, you get fired. It's automatic dismissal. But you know the rules going in. What the hell is his name?
Hmm.
He was a news reporter. Obviously he signed a morality clause, but he got caught wearing women's clothing and some BDSM with somebody in a motel. So he got fired for that. Again, it's in the morality
Yeah,
clause. You can't be doing things like that.
it's in the
So,
morality clause. I thought you
yeah.
were gonna say he turned out to be a porn actor or something. Like this guy, he's got this big
No, no,
donkey
no.
doll hanging in there, and he's got like no, no,
No, can you
sad.
imagine?
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, no, but yeah, no. What I was the school teacher that I was talking about was a woman. That's what. So just to be
Yeah,
clear,
well, I wouldn't think that men would be doing that. Not too many anyway. Unless
it happens. It
there
happens.
is an industry for that, but it's all homosexual. If men want to get into that, you got to go on the homosexual side. Where the money is.
Oh,
Women don't.
oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
because
Yeah,
men are
strip
the only.
clubs. I think
Well, it's a funny thing in that whole porn strip club industry. It's all geared towards men, prostitution,
towards
porn,
men. Yeah,
and stripping. So whether you're a prostitute, if you're male or female, you're still servicing men. Male or female,
service men.
yeah, exactly. There's
Yeah,
not too many
yeah. Oh
female
yeah, I know.
strip clubs out there. Chippendale,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, no, that's it.
Like there's only Chippendales
There's
out there
not
for
that.
women.
There is that. There was like. There's that. It's not a myth. I mean, it exists. A male prostitute for women. It's
But
like,
it's
did you ever
few.
watch Deuce
It's like a
Gigolo, Male
thousand.
Gigolo?
Yes, I saw parts of it.
It's so dumb. Don't
It
watch
is.
it. It's just dumb. But
It
just the
is.
title is kind of funny. But the idea that, that's it might exist, but it's gonna be rare. It's gonna be the rare one.
It's gonna be very
It's gonna be
rare.
more
Yeah.
the other kind of servicing.
Again, and you're
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
into
For
escorts now. Escorts for men are 99% women.
I'm gonna be for
So
men.
and
I
they're
always
not just
imagine,
taking
if I
guys
could find
out
like some
for a
nice
date.
rich women though, just rich lonely women, elderly. They're not gonna be young. I don't.
Yeah, I'm
I don't
sure.
know. It could be a thing.
And there's Viagra too.
No.
You just need to perform.
Just have to perform. No, I'm joking, but no, yeah, that's it. But even then, imagining if it could work out that I could do that as a thing, like sell my body to women, just to physically things, right? Even then, I don't see that as like you say. You just track that out over time. It's like, okay, get a call. Okay, I'll be there. Bloop, 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 bloop. And just like you say, popping little blue pills because it gets so boring, and it's just like,
Yeah, right, right.
I don't, yeah, that smells funny, but I guess I gotta get paid. But
Oh
anyways, yes,
God, crazy! You had to go there.
oh, sorry, was that crossing the line?
Yeah, the baby.
That was the line? Okay.
I don't know. I
This
thought this was to be like, not Serving God podcast, but Finding Truth. So that might not. There's a line with Serving God podcast. There's a line with Seeking Truth. So maybe we'll push a little further.
Well, no, this is all in terms of the theme today. It's the theme
Yeah,
today. If you don't know where you're going,
yeah, right. You
you
could
may
end up
end up with
somewhere
your
else.
pants out down.
Yeah. So
You might
yeah.
have-
So how many of these people end up oh. So how many of these people end up drug addicted, alcohol addicted, homeless, even dead? Because they just,
And you can imagine, like, all the things that could go wrong. Like, you're a really good stripper, but you fall out of line with your
fall out of
employer.
favor,
Or
right?
you get a tooth punched. Imagine you get a tooth punched out just for what, or dropped
Oh
out, or
yeah,
you
right.
break it on something like anything. Now you can't work. You have no skills. Boom, you're homeless. Like how fast
Exactly,
that could
right.
work. Or
And now you
like you
did,
say, not
well,
having a long
and
term.
now you can use that fame that you had as a prostitute, not a prostitute, as a porn star or a stripper to be a prostitute now. So now you're doing a whole other different thing because now you have no set skill set. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna be on your back the rest of your life.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
no,
sad.
idiots
No,
are
it's
funny.
very sad. Support this kind of a lifestyle. Like if no man ever went into a strip club, they would be gone tomorrow.
You'll be
there would be
dead.
no market for it. So it depends on the men coming in to satisfy some kind of sexual desire, and it's all
It's true. We create the. No, it's true. We create the market. Absolutely. No, I agree with
yeah.
that.
And as long as there's
Yeah.
perverts out there, there's going to be a market for it.
And about half the population are perverted like that. No, half the population? A
I
little
would say
bit
10 to
under. I
15
think there's
percent.
more than 50% women. I think there's about 49.8%
I think
men.
I think it's 51% women, 49% men. That's the average
Well,
worldwide. Yeah.
so we'll say that 49% of the population are perverts. That 47
You
and a
know,
half.
I would not exclude myself out of that.
No, that's it. Just to know that we have these demons, like men, you
Oh
can be
yeah,
tempted by
definitely.
that. Oh,
It's a
we get to
demon of
see a
lust.
naked woman for
Here
a
you go.
dollar? Okay, I'll do that.
Perfect. I love that segue. The demon of lust, the one that just brings you into these horrible situations,
Yeah.
using people for your own desires, and then walking away like they're nothing. That's a
Yeah,
terrible
no, it
demon.
is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it allows you to treat someone like this. Yeah, yeah, I agree with it.
And
I
it's
agree with where
immediate
you're going there, bro.
gratification. It's
Yeah,
not in. It's This is not sex within a loving, uh,
yeah,
a nice relationship. This is sex within a very demeaning relationship where one has all the power and one doesn't. It's not a 50-50
yeah,
thing.
yeah. No, and it is just that. Like you walk by the flashy sign for stripper, 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 and it's just that lust, but that lust demon
Yeah, right.
puts you in there.
Right.
But then you never consider the person. It's just like, no, I have
Exactly.
lust, I
Yeah.
have lust, I have
Right. I
lust,
just want to
and
release my lust. Yeah.
you're not thinking about golden
But what kind of
rings. Rules
satisfaction
are
can you
golden
get
rules
out of
'cause-
that,
yeah,
though? I mean, it's very. I have friends who were promiscuous. You know, they weren't. They didn't go to strip clubs or anything, but on dates after the first date, they would have sex, come back home. One of them described
mhm,
it as eating a Big Mac at McDonald's and not feeling satisfied or feeling guilty. So,
mhm.
even that person wants a loving relationship with one person, a
Yep,
monogamous,
yeah, yeah.
a monogamous relationship. We get that out. So, releasing your lust with someone you don't know in a couple of minutes, paying for it, strip club, what have you, it's very demeaning on both people. It's uh,
Hmm.
I can't think of anything good about it. And the disease that spread too, on top of everything
Yeah,
else, you got the
yeah.
risk of abortion, a risk of pregnancy rather, the risk of disease, uh, and a lot of these diseases like chlamydia causes permanent sterility. So we both know strippers don't go past the age of 20, 25. That's about the age limit. And then they start, then
For
they,
dick
but
work, yeah, no, it's just
right,
no, I agree with you. And I remember that, yeah, when you said that too about and I did go in and thinking, you go into a strip club, it's like, yeah, strip club, this is where you like get your rocks off, as it were, or you get
right,
something more, but I
right.
never go into paying for sex, but just from there, coming out and thinking like,
Well, you don't know. A
wait,
lot of
what? That
strippers,
I felt like I got ripped off, like, wait, I didn't
yeah,
even
yeah,
get like any kind of satisfaction. And looking at the person, I was like, oh, I'd like to get, like to get to know this person, anyway, and jump into bed with them. But it was just so empty. It was just so empty that you
exactly,
come
yeah.
out not even fulfilling the demon that you went in to fulfill,
Well,
and the other person again
it's
is
fulfilled in that
being treated like
that
dog food. Yeah.
it's fulfilled in a couple of minutes, but then that demon comes back because you want more and more and more. It's like eating junk food, more and more and more. What satisfaction are you gonna get? You so when you
Yeah.
having sex in a monogamous relationship or marriage is like having a regular healthy meal. You're satisfied. That's what you want. You're
Mm.
satisfied to your next meal. Having sex with a prostitute, fulfilling the demon of lust, is very well. It's fulfilling for that second, but then you want more and more and more, and you don't feel satisfied and fulfilled. You kind of feel dirty. And some of these friends told me they felt dirty afterwards. They didn't like it,
Mm.
but they went back. So it's that demon that must have kept being fed.
Oh yeah, the demon's always there, and if we don't find another avenue, if we don't find a healthy avenue, then that demon is just always going to keep whispering because you haven't
You
found a
gotta
good meal yet, right? And so you're always going to be like going to the Doritos or not Doritos even. It's like
well,
the
whatever.
nasty junk food. You're not going to go to the proper meal. Or yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to work it into the metaphor
No,
there.
you
You
got
see
it.
what
No,
I'm
you
doing there?
got it. No, like I would say, like a
Yeah, yeah.
McDonald's hamburger compared to like a good steak.
A proper steak. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Exactly. Because McDonald's hamburger is like afterwards like, oh, that was good, and it's like, oh no, oh
Yeah, you
whoops,
get
no,
sick. Yeah,
feels like a rock in my stomach now.
right.
Good steak. Anyways, yeah, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, no, no, that's a good analogy too. And just that. Anyways, I got my beep to my battery is dying
All
actually.
right, it's after midnight anyway.
But I thought about what you're saying, and I'm like, wait, that's perfect in terms of the if you don't know where you're going, you'll end up somewhere else. Whereas we're talking about kind of love and lust and sort of this.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I was trying to bring it back. I'm
Well,
like, oh, e-dating, not e-dating, but like online
well,
dating
let's
compared
say,
to the other dating. I'm like, it's different, but at least we're talking about
well,
love
let's
and
say
lust now.
you're trying to find a relationship where the other way you're just finding immediate gratification.
That's it.
The
So if you don't
relationship
know where
being
you're
more
going, you're going to end up in
satisfying,
the strip club.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to satisfy certain
Yeah.
physical
I slipped on a
urges,
banana peel,
but
ended
if you
up in a strip
think
club.
yeah. No, and it's true. You actually want to get married, but you just if you keep
Yeah,
thinking
but
about this, not you, but
you're
if
not
the
gonna,
lust
right,
thing keeps coming in, you keep
right. You're
going
not
into the
gonna find
strip
your
club
wife.
and you come out like, wait, like 10 years later, wait, where's that woman I was supposed to be married with, Whereas if you
Yeah,
wouldn't have
exactly.
gone in there, you would have kept on that mind of family. You
You might have
wouldn't have
looked at
gone into
somebody
that.
else. And then, you're looking at these women who are very superficially pretty, but you don't know anything else about them. Whereas when you're in a relationship, you got someone who may be superficially pretty, but you got someone you're connecting on an emotional level. And I think that's so much
Mhm.
more important than just being with someone on a superficial level.
Yeah. And I think that's good too, because even as almost an analogy, it's like, well, when I went in, I don't know. Oh no, I guess you could go in the back room and get a lap dance. That's true. I did
It's
get a lap
champagne
dance
room.
once. No, but I was gonna say, at the first when you're in the front room, you can't even talk to them, right? They're just over
Yeah,
there.
right.
They're moving, real
Right,
people
they're moving for
moving
100
live
minutes.
in
Yeah,
front of you. But they're
yeah.
so far away, or there's music and stuff. You can't even talk to them to know even like, do you have an accent? What is that? That's
Yeah,
obviously not your real name. What is your real name? So it's almost
yeah.
like
My name is
entirely
Candy String.
superficial.
Yeah, my name is Candy
That's
String.
exactly that's it. Like, okay, it's entirely superficial compared to if you start something emotional, like you say, it's gotta go somewhere else. But the stripper is the example of entirely superficial. Even though you're 2 feet away, it's just there's no connection at all. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you're just looking at someone taking
Mhm.
their clothes off. You can do it on the computer. Unfortunately,
That's a good
that's
one.
all over the internet now. You don't even have to go out.
Yeah. No, and it's it. And that's where again it stops you from getting to the real thing. Oh, Yogi Berra is gonna save us here. And if you don't know, what you really wanted to do is
Thank you,
outside,
Yogi.
like we can stay inside. Yeah. Yeah, Yogi Berra.
Thank you, Yogi.
But no, thank
He's
you.
great. All right, so it's after midnight anyway. We've gone on long enough.
We'll go on. Yeah, well, I like this though. I like how like I looked it up real quick when you said, I'm like, oh, I better look this up. And then I came up with the other quote, which I was like, oh, that's my thing. It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
that's
Yogi's
good. Yeah.
Berra's one is better than that one. It's more fulfilling in a way. Like the other one basically says, if you don't know where you're going, any path will get you there. It's like, no, you have to actually, that's like, don't, it's like floating through life like a leaf. Don't worry, you'll get
Yeah.
there anyways.
What if
No,
one path
that's not
leads
at
you
all
so
how it
far?
works.
Yeah. Yeah, but that reminds you. That make me think. What if one path leads you so far left when you want to go right? You have to know where you want to go.
You have to know where you go, which is like
Yeah.
Yogi Berra. Well, it makes me think. I guess he didn't really say it that way, but the path isn't exactly what you're planning for. The destination is what you're planning for. And of course, there's 1,000 different paths there. And if you try and line it up, that's not the path you're going to end up taking. It's going to be one of these
No,
things,
but if you have
but
an idea
have
where
that
you want to
destination in
go,
mind.
right? But if you have an idea where
Mhm.
you want to go, maybe this path, but it'll end up in that spot where you want to be. So.
It'll be there. And at the same time, though, his one about the fork in the, if you come to a fork in the road, take
Yeah,
it.
take it.
It's like,
That was about his
it's
house.
silly. I mean, he didn't even mean it that way, but it's true. If you will always come to forks in the road, but
Yeah,
don't
right. Where you
stall
gonna
there.
go?
Like, don't
Right. Where you gonna
stop
go?
and like, left or right or left or right or left or
He was
right.
talking
No,
about his
you've got to
house though,
freaking
because
move forward. Yeah. Hmm?
he was talking about his house because he
Yeah.
he he
It
lived
was,
at
it
right at
was,
the dead center of a cul-de-sac, so the fork went all the way around to his house. So either way you went, you ended up in his house. So
it
that is
was so beautiful how
philosophically. Not as philosophically
He
deep
didn't.
as what we started with, but it's still a good one.
No, but that's it. That was his beauty too. He wasn't even talking about something so deep, but my goodness, that one about the fork, I bet you I'll think like hundreds of hours about that one. And it didn't even mean that to him. That's the beautiful thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Just drive to
Anyways.
my house, take the fork. That's it.
Good.
All right. So
Well,
I think we've
well, I'm
gone
glad
on
this
long enough
works,
now.
but
All right.
go ahead. Yeah,
So
go ahead. Yeah.
this was Seeking Truth, Finding Yogi Berra Philosophy, and Finding Strippers too with Frank and Fraser.
The
We don't
naked
want to find
truth.
them though. Yeah, we want to find them though.
Yeah,
We want to, we want to help them. We want to pray for them. We want to help them get a better life. But we want to get them out of that sinful lifestyle. That's what we want.
I would give them the shirt off my back if I could. I literally would. I would do that.
They give you $1 for it.
Clothe a stripper.
They give you a
Clothe a
dollar for
stripper.
it.
That's
Yeah,
it.
clothe the stripper. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Clothe a stripper.
There's a new one. There's a new charity in town. It's called Clothe the Stripper with Frank and Fraser.
Clothe a stripper. Frank.
All right.
All right.
All right. Good night, Fraser. This is
Good
entertaining
night.
tonight. Good night and God bless.